of the day. When you get an opportunity in this game, you make a play. The playmakers on three. 1, 2, 3.
Touchdown, Kansas City! The Chiefs are right in the thick of it, baby!
Well, welcome to this special edition of Defending the Kingdom. Mitch Holthus with you, the voice of the Chiefs, along with senior team reporter Matt McMullen. But what better way to get ready for the NFL Draft? You know, we usually have Around the World, where we check in with Chiefs fans all throughout the globe. But we have a special one today, Matt.
Yeah, we're not doing Around the World today. We're going to postpone that to next week because we're checking in with one of the best college basketball players ever and huge Chiefs fan. It's Caitlin Clark. Caitlin, what's going on?
Hey, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
It's so exciting. When I finally got to meet you last year, it was at the Hy-Vee IndyCar race in Newton, Iowa. And there she is. It's like, and then to think about, I mean, the Wade Trophy winner. How about this? A 3-time Dawn Staley winner for top player, and then beats Dawn Staley in the NCAA tournament when she's undefeated with South Carolina. Incredible career. 27 points a game, 8 assists a game for 3 years in a row. It is amazing. Congratulations on what you've been able to do so far and the impact you're having on fans everywhere, not just the Iowa Hawkeyes.
No, yeah, thank you. And like you said, it was an honor to meet you. When I saw you at the IndyCar, I was like, oh my gosh, it's the Chiefs announcer. Could this day get any better? There was already a ton of famous people at the IndyCar race, but no, it was awesome. And obviously I got to come down to a game last year, so that was super fun. But yeah, an incredible year for us. A lot of memories were made. So pretty awesome, like you said.
Mitch has been fanboying about this interview for 2 weeks now. As soon as we knew it was going to happen, he was like, we're going to get Caitlin Clark on DTK. So he's been freaking out. I think he's a bigger fan of you than you are of him.
And you know what? We're rocking. Hey, we're rocking the 2-2s here, right? We had to go.
We slipped into them.
Excuse me.
You squeezed into them for me. That's love.
Yeah,
That's love.
and it's like, so we'll hold our breath through the whole thing. But I texted you when you guys were in the run. I'm going the power of the deuce. Juan Thornhill got the interception. And I sent it to, I go, Caitlin, power of the deuce. And breaking news, Trent McDuffie this year is moving to number 22. So you'll be Let's go. You'll be the deuce is not only represented for the Hawkeyes, it's represented for the Chiefs.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but what an incredible run you had last year in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, just amazing stuff from you, Caitlin. I'm sure you're tired of hearing about all your stats and numbers, but we're going to do it anyway. I'm going to read some of these off. So you scored the most points through 100 career games in the history of Division I men's or women's college basketball. You had 191 points and 60 assists during the NCAA tournament, and you were the only player in tournament history to record a 40-point triple-double. What goes through your mind when you hear all these things, especially now that you've had some time to process it?
Oh, I mean, honestly, I still feel like it really hasn't all sunk in, just the whole tournament run and even the entire season. But I tell everybody, it definitely helps when you get to play the maximum number of games in a season to get numbers like that, because we made it to the Big Ten tournament championship. So you got the maximum number there. And then we made it to the national championship. So that certainly helps your stats. But I think more than anything, it was just a tremendous run. And I think the excitement around women's basketball was the coolest thing for myself. I mean, I'm sure you guys saw the pictures, but the amount of people at the Final Four supporting women's basketball, it hasn't always been like that. So I think that's the coolest part. But, obviously it was a lot of fun. The 40-point triple-double to go to the Final Four, I don't think you could write it really any better. And we kind of built, a good lead. So we weren't super nervous at the end of the game, which was really nice. We could kind of, enjoy celebrating and reaching the Final Four. So that was awesome. But I mean, I think Hawkeye fans were just incredible. And I think, Chiefs fans are the same way. That's what the fandom's all about, supporting your team like no other. So it was a special run. And like I said, I still really don't think it's set in fully.
Well, that's why this Defending the Kingdom is going to bring you out as one of the top Chiefs fans ever, because the Chiefs Kingdom was pulling for you too. Even the Iowa State fans that are Chiefs Kingdom fans, including Brad G, who's our vice president for communications here in the building. But let's just get into this Chiefs fandom here. How did you become a Chiefs fan, and how big a Chiefs fan are you?
Honestly, it started with my dad. He was a big Kansas City Chiefs fan. So, my older brother was then a Kansas City Chiefs fan. And then I wanted to do whatever my older brother did. So I was basically just tagging along with him. We had the fake play helmets that were Kansas City Chiefs growing up. And I was super competitive with my older brother. So we would put those on and go in the front yard and tackle each other. And my mom has a bunch of home videos of it and stuff. But We also had like a Chiefs vending machine in our basement. Like it was kind of this weird like vending machine thing, but no, the fandom was huge. We always were Chiefs fans, even, way back when they weren't as good, obviously, as they are now. But we also have a lot of family in Kansas City, so we would always try to go to one game a year with my cousins, which was super fun memories growing up. But yeah, it's not something I just hopped on the bandwagon when we got really, really good. I've always been a true fan. Don't worry about that.
One thing I always like learning about is like the first moment or the first game or the player that really influenced fandom. For me, this makes me seem super young, but I remember a lot of Chiefs seasons, but the first one I really super closely followed was the 2005 season. And I remember like yesterday listening to this guy call a Tony Gonzalez touchdown against the New York Jets at Arrowhead all those years ago. Do you have a game or a moment or a player that you remember from when you were little that really connected you to the team?
Oh, I don't know about more so a player, but I have this one moment I vividly remember when I was with my cousins at a game. I must have been pretty young, but we had seats in like two separate areas, and one of the areas was like 50-yard line, like lower bowl, and then the other one was like the third bowl, and I got selected to be in the top seats, and I remember just throwing a huge fit about it. Like I was bawling, like I was so mad that the most of my cousins were down, like super close to the field, and I somehow had to go all the way up top. So that's like one vivid memory, and I'm pretty sure my mom was not happy about that. Like she was just annoyed by me crying, couldn't enjoy the game. But no, when I came this past year, I had the nice seats where you could go inside, which was good because it was freezing at the game I came to. So that was good. But that's like my one vivid memory of when I was younger.
Okay, you have two brothers, Blake and Colin. And Blake's a quarterback at Iowa State, by the way, so that makes for some interesting discussion when we talk, I don't know, the Hy-Vee Cy-Hawk Trophy. But where did Blake and Colin get to set that game?
I think Blake was down with my other older boy cousins by like the field area. I think Colin was up with me because he was too young to even remember, I'm sure. But yeah, that's why I was the most mad, because I was like, how do all my older boy cousins get to do this? And I wanted to do whatever they were, and they wanted nothing to do with me. That's why I got picked on. I got bullied. But I give that a lot of credit for who I am, because, at family events, we'd always be out in the front yard playing basketball, playing whatever, and they did not take it easy on me. It usually ended in tears. So pretty similar situation at the Chiefs games.
You've touched on this a bit, but how much of a family deal was this for you growing up, where it's Sunday, everyone gets around the TV and watches the Chiefs game?
Yeah, no, it was always a big deal. My dad always had them on, whether we were in the basement, whether we were upstairs. A lot of times my family would be cooking. My mom is like the best chef of all time, so she would oftentimes make really good food while we were watching. But that's what I really looked forward to most on Sundays. There wasn't obviously college sports, but we would be watching the Chiefs, and I would be upset if they lost, and I still am. Like every Sunday, that's what is usually the brightest part of my day, is turning on the TV and watching the Chiefs. And I don't know, I think it's kind of similar to how I play, is offensive firepower. It's exciting. It's not usually what you see on the football field is just so many different exciting plays, and that's kind of how I play basketball too. So I think that's why I'm kind of drawn to it in a way.
Well, you've been compared to Patrick Mahomes' game. We'll get into that in a second. And I just talked to Patrick about you, actually, a couple weeks ago when we were in Tyler, Texas. But you mentioned coming to a game every year. You actually got to come to the Seattle game on Christmas Eve. Okay, How did you work that out? And it was one of the coldest games in Arrowhead Stadium, GEHA Field at Arrowhead Stadium history.
Yeah, I definitely picked the wrong game because it was absolutely freezing, but it was still a really, really good time. And obviously Christmas Eve. So, I had a break from basketball in the middle of basketball season. So we had to definitely make it over for a game. And my guy, Chris Jones, had the hookup with the tickets. And then Brett Veach got us on the field, which my brothers were just in a daze. They thought it was the coolest thing of all time, which was super cool. And my dad, my dad's also a super big Royals fan. I probably told you that. So obviously we were right next to the Royals Stadium. So they were loving it, but I had on like 3 layers. I had like foot warmers in my shoes, hand warmers. But no, it was super cool. I got a signed Chris Jones jersey. It's hanging up in my room back home in Des Moines. So that's pretty cool. But no, he's awesome. And honestly, a lot of the guys, Chris, Patrick, they've reached out to me since my season's ended, and even, through our journey throughout the tournament. And I know they were supporting and watching. I think Chris is one of the biggest Iowa women's basketball fans now. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, we picked a really, really cold game to come to.
And he's also loving it as a Mississippi State guy that you beat South Carolina. So he was almost down with that
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Deuce, I got to come clean here because I've known Coach Bluter a long time. She's amazing. And that whole staff, it's all those gals. Did you sneak away or did you get some time and she's going, oh, my gosh, Caitlin's there and it's -10. Like, she's going to get bronchitis. Like, get home. Wrap her in bubble wrap.
No. Yeah, no, she gives us a good chunk of like 4 days off around Christmas. So she was actually excited I was going to the game. You know, she kind of was like, you need to get away and do something fun with your family, which was really awesome of her. So yeah, it was a fun little trip for the fam. I know we woke up really early because what was that? It was an earlier game, wasn't it?
It was noon.
Maybe
game,
a-
Yeah, it was one of the rare noon games we had.
Yeah, it was a noon game, but I was trying to go between inside and outside, so I wasn't getting super cold and super sick, but you know, I was super bundled up and no, it was a fun game. Maybe come to a warmer one this year before basketball season kicks off.
And that was the game I banged the drum and did the first couple drives at the top. I would have gladly shared that duty with you if I'd have known you were there.
Hey, we got it next season.
There we go.
There we go.
We're in.
Caitlin Clark banging the drum.
I think it'd be awesome. Maybe a September game, though not.
I remember watching that. I'm like hitting my dad. I'm like, Mitch is calling the game from up there. This is insane.
He's crazier than we thought.
Well, I think it's great that your brothers would bully you growing up, and then all of a sudden you get a phone call. Hey guys, it's Chris Jones. You want to go to the Chiefs game? Like that's going to be awesome, right?
Yeah, absolutely. No, my brothers, they're now my biggest fans. And even though my brother was playing football at Iowa State, he's now graduating this spring with his master's. But so he'll be done. So that'll be really weird that I won't have, you know, a sibling in the family playing football anymore. But no, they thought it was the coolest thing. My brother was just all about it. He would have stayed for 3 games in the freezing cold. That's how much he loves the Chiefs. But yeah, no, they're the best. They're my biggest fans. I'm sure you guys saw them on ESPN. ESPN loves to put them on the camera. They get really into it, and you know, they have my back, which is like the coolest thing. You know, I grew up competing against them and they probably made me the person I am, but you know, now they're my biggest fans. They travel all around to all my games. So pretty cool memories I get to share with them.
That's awesome. Well, you mentioned that you had a bit of a break, and that's why you were able to come to the Seattle game. You did not have a break during the playoffs for the Chiefs because you were in the thick of your Big Ten schedule. So the Monday after the win over the Jaguars in the playoffs for the Chiefs and heading into the AFC title game, we were all on Patrick Mahomes' ankle watch all week, but you had some games to worry about. You played number 2 Ohio State on the road and won. The day before the AFC title game, you played Nebraska and won. And then a few days after the AFC championship game, you played number 8 Maryland and won. The point is, you were really busy during this playoff run. Were you able to follow it at all? And if so, how did you maintain your sanity throughout it?
Oh yeah, I always make time to watch. And also we have another like huge Chiefs fan on our team, and one of our managers is a huge Chiefs fan. He actually came to the game with our family. His family came when we came to the Seattle game. So it's fun. I get to share those moments with my teammates too. So we're always making time to watch the games. And even if the game starts during practice or something like that, like we'll go to our meal after practice and make sure the managers turn all the TVs on. But no, I always make sure to watch. But I think we actually played during one of the games. And I remember when I first got back to the locker room, I was like, Molly, like, what was the score? What was the final score? Like, did we win? Like, it was like one of the first things I was checking. And she's a huge Chiefs fan. Molly Davis, she came off the bench for us, was one of like our sixth player off the bench. And she like always knows. She knows all the stats. Like, we'll be on the way to the game and she'll like have her phone pulled up watching the Chiefs game. And we're going to go tip off in like an hour and a half. And she's dialed into the Chiefs game. So no, it's awesome. But yeah, I was definitely able to follow. And obviously winning the Super Bowl, nothing like it. Wish I could have been at that, but was a little busy.
Let me get to that. But can't you hear all the Kingdom defenders around there going, yeah, that's what we want. Those are our kind of fans. Even your competitors, like Sarah Beth Geldner played at Drake. She just a great 3-point shooter, made the 3-pointer to tie it against Louisville in the NCAA tournament. She's a gigantic Chiefs fan. I mean, could there be even during a game, like she's guarding you going, hey, did you see the play Mahomes made? Or, I mean.
I didn't know she was a huge Chiefs fan, but Drake's coming to our place next year. So I definitely am going to have to ask her about that mid-game. Maybe she'll be guarding me. But no, obviously Drake is the school basically that I grew up watching. So big fans of them. They took us to overtime this year. That was not an easy game at Drake. But yeah, she had a huge one versus Louisville, and it's kind of funny because then we went on to play Louisville to go to the Final Four, and we beat them. So I didn't know that, but now you gave me a good point to talk about during the next time we play them.
$10 if you do it during the game. Going, hey, did you
I
see?
know.
Yeah. Okay, now it's February the 12th. We're in Glendale, Arizona. Matt and I are getting ready. Chiefs against the Philadelphia Eagles. Can the Chiefs win Super Bowl 57? You were playing that day. What was that day like for you and your brothers?
Sheesh, I don't even remember,
It was
honestly.
Rutgers. I looked it up. You guys won by 50. So
Okay.
nothing against Rutgers because Pacheco would come in here and like bash my head.
Michael
right?
Burton.
Yeah. My God.
Rutgers was they were a really young team, so we played them at home. I think it was an earlier day game, so I was definitely home by the time I got to watch the Chiefs game. And some of our men's basketball players are really, really big Eagles fans. So I was talking a lot of crap all week long. So I needed my Chiefs to back me up. It was a really, really big deal. And then obviously Rihanna at the halftime show. You couldn't ask for a better Super Bowl win, honestly. But I think it was one of the best Super Bowls of all time. A tremendous game. I was never flustered. Patrick, I knew his ankle was going to be fine all along. I wasn't worried. Some of our players were hurt. Doesn't bother us. Patrick just gets the job done. He's the man.
We love the halftime shows you did because it gave extra time for Patrick's ankle to heal.
Yeah.
So we will thank her forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is the halftime show longer when you go to the Super Bowl, or is like halftime longer?
It is
Significantly.
like 5 times longer.
Yeah, it's like
So
30 minutes.
And we petitioned for it to be like even double longer this year. It's like just wait till Patrick's ankle's ready and then we'll one more song.
That's awesome.
So the Chiefs win the Super Bowl. It was obviously incredible. You're still going on with your season. And then on February 26th, you nail a 3 to beat number 2 Indiana as time expires. Just an amazing moment, an amazing play. George Kittle tweets at you. And then Patrick Mahomes, the MVP of the Super Bowl, one of your favorite players, obviously, tweets at you and calls you a dog, a D-A-W-G. What was it like getting that notification?
That's pretty cool. Anytime somebody like that tweets at you, even George Kittle, Patrick Mahomes, really whoever it is, like those are the people you still look up to and idolize and think, are the coolest people in the world. And obviously, no matter the spotlight I'm in, I always still will have people I idolize, whether it's in the NBA, WNBA, NFL, things like that. So it kind of took me back for a second. And obviously George Kittle, an Iowa grad, was a beast here. And actually his wife played basketball for the Iowa Hawkeyes, which is a super cool fun fact too. But super cool. And I think honestly, Iowa fans, I've made them even Chiefs fans because they know how much I love the Chiefs. So they're like, well, we got to watch whatever Caitlin watches. And now all of them are saying we got to get Patrick Mahomes to a game. So before I graduate, we got to make that happen. Mitch, you got to be there too. Both of you have to be there. Come on, you got to come with them.
We're in. We're come. We'll see if Pat puts us on the jet and fly into Iowa City, but we're all about it. Okay, the 2023 schedule will come out right after the draft. It might be the most epic home schedule in the history of the Kansas City Chiefs. It's phenomenal. Are you going to come to a game?
We got the Eagles at home, don't we?
Yes, we
Sure
do.
All right, I'm going to try to make that one. Hopefully it's at a good point in the season. But yeah, I'm definitely going to try to make a game. I'm going to try to come to one before basketball starts. And then, hopefully we can do the one over Christmas if we play over Christmas. One with the family too.
Do I need to send a permission slip to Lisa Bluter?
You do.
Okay,
You do.
I'll do. I'll write it out for you.
Note to be excused from practice.
You kind of mentioned this, but being in Iowa, that's really a battleground area for the Chiefs because there's Packers fans up there, there's Vikings fans of other teams. And you kind of said this already, but have you kind of converted some people to Chiefs fans now over the last few years?
Oh yeah, I feel like I have. I feel like I've made our whole team Chiefs fans. But like you said, like there's a lot of Vikings, there's a lot of Packers, and I'm like even a lot of Bears. Especially in Iowa City, there's a lot of Chicago people, so a lot of Bears fans. And I'm like, guys, come on, you got to cheer for a team that's really, really good and consistently in the Super Bowl. So no, I've turned quite a few people into Chiefs fans. And I think they honestly enjoy it because watching the Chiefs is exciting. Like it's exciting style of football. Plays they run, things like that. So I think it's an easy draw for my teammates to want to watch because I feel like we play basketball kind of in that same manner. But no, I'm always trying to convert people into big Chiefs fans. Or if they won't convert, I'll just talk a bunch of crap to them about whatever team they like.
Honestly, it is like watching you guys play, and you play in specific is like watching the Chiefs play NFL football. Okay, we'll close it out here. But I know Veach listens to you. And here we are. We're getting ready for the draft here. We're just days away. So what advice would you give General Manager Brett Veach on this draft?
Oh, here's the thing. He's the best GM in all of football. I do not think he needs any of my advice. But shoot, I don't know. If there's a Hawkeye left on the board, I think he should take him. We got some good players.
There are a bunch of Hawkeyes again because you're all over the NFL. Like every NFL team. Danon Hughes does color for us on, Iowa Hawkeye guy. And it's like you guys have like 3 on every team, it seems like.
Josh Klingler?
Yeah.
Big Iowa guy.
Yeah. So
Iowa football just produces NFL products. It's pretty incredible. They're a fun team to watch. And honestly, I'm pretty good friends with a lot of them and a lot of them that are in the NFL draft this year. So it's going to be cool to see, where the draft takes them. And obviously I think it's super cool. It's in Kansas City. And like I said, I have family there. So they're super stoked about draft weekend in Kansas City.
Like if Lucas Van Ness slips down, you never know.
Yeah. Lucas is my age. I remember being in the dorms with him. He's an awesome guy. But I think he'll go pretty high, which will be really cool for him. He's a beast.
And last question for you. Speaking of the draft, are you going to make it down here to Kansas City for the draft?
I actually might. A bunch of my cousins are going for draft weekend, enjoying Kansas City. I think my aunt's hosting everybody. So I might make it down. I have a trip earlier that week, but I might try to make it down for draft weekend. So I heard the place is going to be crazy. I think they were expecting over 300,000 people or something like that. So it's going to be wild. So I think I'm going to have to come down for it.
this time, we'll make sure she gets the front row seat, and Blake and Colin. Actually, Colin can come with you.
Yeah, Colin's allowed. Blake's headed up.
Blake,
the back.
We'll put him at the top of Liberty Memorial, right?
I agree.
You had your shot like 20 years ago, Blake. Now you're going way up top.
Now's my moment.
Caitlin, we cannot thank you enough, and we cannot tell you enough how much fun it is to watch you play, but the person you are, the character that you bring, not only to the basketball floor, you have so many fans that are following you now. You are great for young ladies. I've got 2 granddaughters that love to play. For them to watch you and to be a role model, just know how special you are to all of us in the Chiefs Kingdom.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate that. And all of you, not just you two, but even more, have been super supportive of myself and become very, very big Hawkeye fans. So I appreciate that. And, I can't wait for the next season to start.
So now the Chiefs Kingdom knows number 22 in your program, but number 1 in your heart, and maybe the number 1 Chiefs fan in the entire Chiefs Kingdom, the amazing Caitlin Clark.
10, 5, touchdown! Lock it down! And the celebration begins at Arrowhead.